Raj, do you have your top 50 list done already? We're filming after work today. We're filming right now.
Literally, just give me 1 second, man. All right? I'll be ready in 1 second.
All right. Let me at least see what you have so far. We're filming now. You got to be almost done by now.
Man, seriously, you do not want to see it yet. You don't, all right? It's almost ready. Just give me 1 second. It'll almost be ready. You don't want to see it yet.
Man, fucking stop. Fucking around. What the fuck is this? Dude, couldn't even make your own list? Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. Welcome back to the Sneaker Bench. I'm Spyro.
I'm Raj.
And today we're here to talk about Chat GPT's top 50 sneakers of all time. But before we get into that, we have what we have on feet today. Raj, what are you wearing today?
I'm currently wearing the 2016 Kith Ultra Boost in the multicolor colorway. I love this shoe so much. I wear it all the time.
Pretty
Not a lot
awesome.
to say.
Sorry, pretty awesome. I'm wearing the just like pine green Air Max 1s. These are just a GR Air Max 1. I don't necessarily think there's a special name or anything, but I think these are really cool, and I like green. So, anyways, we're talking about Chat GPT's top 50 sneakers just for fun, and we're just going to give our opinions. By the way, if you look up Chat GPT, if you do this for yourself, the list changes. So our list is based on when we searched it, and we'll have pictures on the screen going forward of the top 50 list. But go look it up for yourself and see what Chat GPT has learned from videos like this. Maybe see if their list has improved since then. Anyways, we're going to go from 50 to 41, 40 to 31, 30 to 21, and so on and so forth.
We're also not going to comment on every sneaker. We're
No.
just going to do the ones that kind of stand out to us, or like they should or shouldn't be on the list, kind of stuff like that. We're not going to talk about every single one.
This could be an hour long if we wanted it to, and we don't want it to. So, anyways, without further ado, going at 50 to 41, Raj, what's something that stood out to you?
I had two sneakers in this range that stood out. The one that I think should be on the list and was maybe not correctly rated, but I think it deserves to be on the list is the Saucony Grid 9000. I love that shoe. I think it also does have sentimental value to me, but nonetheless, I think it's a great sneaker. Super wearable. It was the first sneaker I ever bought, so that's why it has sentimental value to me. The other sneaker I had on there, which was number 48, is the Fila Ray. That shoe is trash. That shoe is so bad, actually. I don't know why it was even considered on the list. It's disgusting, and I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I assume Chat GPT is going to see this video, and they're going to take that off the list because that shoe sucks. It's most definitely not a top 50 sneaker of all time. Also, preface this, for whatever reason, you search this on the Chat GPT website. It says it only has data up to 2021, which clearly seems to have made, them make certain decisions, I guess, which maybe that's why certain Filas are on here. But yeah, the shoe does suck. The Air Max 90 is number 50 on the list, which it's certainly a top 50 sneaker of all time, and there's plenty of good sneakers. But if I was making a top 50 of all time list, the Air Max 90 would most definitely be higher on the list.
Yeah, that's pretty criminal, actually.
I'm not exactly sure where I'd put it, but it for sure not. It'd be
Higher than 50.
if I had to assume, it'd be a top 25 sneaker, but there's a lot of sneakers, so I don't know for sure. And also, I would say that another shoe I think is really underrated in this zone is the Converse Fast Break. It was Larry Bird and like Magic Johnson's shoe and many others. Like lots of people wore that shoe in the NBA, and it was like a super, super important sneaker when sneakers first started becoming a big thing. And I just think at whatever it's ranked at number 46. It's also like definitely a top 35 sneaker of all time if I had a ballpark, in my opinion. But anyways,
That shoe still hoops, by the way. I played basketball in that shoe for like 2 years. Still wears well.
You heard it here first, folks. Coming in at the 40 to 31 range, Raj, what's something that stood out to you?
40 to 31. The Puma RSX at 40. I think that's criminal. That shoe fucking sucks. And I think one shoe that actually I liked on the list, although I think it might be a little too high, is the Flyknit Racer. It's one of those shoes that just like exploded, and I think it's a really good model, and I think it looks really good. It's not necessarily on trend right now, but like it's just a great sneaker. It's too narrow for either of our feet, but it looks so cool on, and when people pull it off, they pull it off really well. And also the whole Flyknit upper thing, was that the first shoe that's did the all Flyknit upper?
Maybe, I can't say for sure, but
It was one of the earlier ones.
It'll totally come back. It'll come back.
Yeah.
And it is really good. So, and it's hard to tell where that'll end up being in like a list like this. Who knows? But I think that it could be properly ranked, but I don't know. I think that's a good one to bring up though.
Yeah.
Raj already said the Puma RSX. We're not trying to shit on Puma and other brands too much, but that shoe is not top 50 of all time by any means. The most egregious pick of this whole list is the Fila Disruptor being on the list at all, let alone being above the Air Max 90 by many spots. The Fila Disruptor is at 31 and the Air Max 90 is at 50. I don't have much else to say other than that is criminal. And then I have the Air Jordan 5. It's at 32. It's kind of low. And I know I can't say everything is a little low, but I guess that could be properly ranked, but in terms of Jordans, that's one of the better Jordans. So, and I may say that again about another Jordan, but it's like maybe that could be a little bit higher. Anyways, it should be on the list regardless. But, do you have anything else on that range?
Nope.
Going just to what do we thought about the 30 to 21 range? Raj, what do you think?
30 to 21. I only have one shoe to kind of comment on, and that's the Adidas Superstar. I personally think that shoe should be higher just because of its cultural significance. Like, it was such a when it came out and like when it first got featured in like things like rap videos, it was such an influence on the entire sneaker world, and I think that's really cool. And although it's still like it's at 24, so it's not like criminal, but I think it could definitely be a little bit higher. Even though I wouldn't necessarily wear a pair, I think those deserve more love than they got on this list.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm just looking at the list, kind of what happens later. There is a few sneakers like something you might expect to see later, which you should, is like the Stan Smith is up there, but at the same time, I do agree that like the Superstar probably should be higher.
Yeah. What about you? What do you got in this range?
In this range, a few notes I had was just Air Jordan 11 at 21. I'm not a big Air Jordan 11 guy, but you know, if you're making a top 10 sneakers of all time list, it probably has the Air Jordan 11 in it. So I don't know. Personally, of sneakers I would wear, I wouldn't have it in my top favorite personal sneakers of all time. But at 21, it's like I think that should probably be a little higher. And then also a sneaker that is probably influenced by this being based on 2021 data. The NMD is probably a little too high. It's ranked 16th, or maybe I might have overshot. Maybe I should. I was supposed to save that for the next category.
All right, so what's
but
your
we're
20?
Jumping to 20 to 11. The NMD was probably a little too high. It's ranked at 16, and yeah, I think the sneaker is good. And Raj and I were becoming like really into sneakers. In that era, we liked sneakers before, but like the Ultra Boost NMD era was when it like really started to get big deal for us. So I think the NMD is great, but it probably is a little too high here.
You have anything else in that range?
Yeah, a few other things. I'm glad the Insta Pump Fury got the respect it deserves, although it's kind of a crazy sneaker. Another Steve Smith design sneaker. I know we've mentioned his name before. You guys probably know about him, but if you don't, look up stuff about Steve Smith. We could even make a whole video about him if you guys wanted to, because he's designed some of the coolest sneakers ever. But I'm glad that got the love it deserved. I think that's like properly ranked at 15. And then I also thought the Gillette 3. I'm just glad that also got the respect it deserves. That's at 18. I think those deserve to be like in that 11 to 20 range. I think those are like properly ranked. And I'm glad those both got the respect it deserves from artificial intelligence.
Is that all you had in that range?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to disagree with you really quick. I think the Instant Pump Furies are way too high. I think they're a great sneaker, historical sneaker, designed by a cool guy. But 15 is just like, that's just so freaking high. That's crazy.
What are you putting above it in this range?
I mean, like, I need to look at the full list again, but I think there's definitely things, like, even below it, that, like, the Superstar should definitely be above the Instapump Fury.
I don't know about that.
The Superstar should be above the Instapump Fury, for sure, in my opinion. It's like the 11s that you mentioned earlier, that should be above the Instapump Furies.
I mean,
there's, like, a lot of shoes that, like, Instapump Fury is not a top 15 shoe of all time. There have been way too many great sneakers that came out to the point where it's like, no. I just don't like that at that spot. I think it should be on the list, not at that spot.
It should at least be top 30, at least. And I think it's fine there, but what else?
We can disagree. Agree to disagree. I think the Saucony Jazz Original, although I think it's a cool shoe, I like the shoe a lot. I would honestly, like, consider buying one. However, I think it's too high still at 20. I think it should be a little bit lower.
Yeah, definitely.
But I still like the shoe in general. And then, do I have anything else? Oh, no. That's it for that range.
All right, moving on to 10 to 1. I'll start with what I got. I've got two big notes here. The Ultra Boost is the 4th ranked sneaker of all time. I love the Ultra Boost. I think Raj loves the Ultra Boost
I love
too.
the Ultra Boost.
I think there's an argument to be made about it being a top 10 sneaker, but 4th is pretty high. And honestly, like, time will tell on the Ultra Boost. This is another one that's probably affected by it being a 2021 data list, but and it could be that high eventually. But at this point in time, can you put it over a sneaker like my next sneaker, the Air Max 1? No, you can't. You can't. The Air Max 1 is most definitely a better sneaker of all time than the Ultra Boost. Like, no doubt about it. At this point in time, do I ever see that changing? No, but like, maybe it could. But at this point in time, no way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting just because, like, the Ultra Boost did have, like, a huge run, and I think it was... It had a huge moment, and I think it was an incredible sneaker. It, like, put comfort first, but, like, the Air Max 1 is definitely higher up on that list than that shoe right now. Because, like, we don't... Since it was a shoe that came out relatively recently, we can't necessarily understand all of the historical, like, importance that it had until it's, like, gone through a full life cycle of being a sneaker.
And lots of people wear it now. Like, you see people on the street all the time wearing Ultra Boost, so this could totally have, like, a huge nostalgia era in, like, 10, 15 years.
And I even think it could come back. Yeah, it's like it could even come back in trend, and I don't see that like as being like super far out either, because it is a really cool shoe. It puts your comfort first, which is a lot of like why New Balance is so popular right now. But anyways, I'm harping on the Ultra Boost. I like the Ultra Boost.
I like the Ultra Boost too. Don't get us wrong, we like the Ultra Boost.
Yeah. Is that the only one you had in
That's
that?
all I have.
Okay. I have 2, and I think they're both good rankings. I think the New Balance 990 at 10. I like that shoe. It is a classic. There's just so many cool colorways of it, and they did a really good job with bringing it back and doing all the collaborations. It's also just a shoe, like the just plain gray colorway looks so cool, and every version still looks cool, which I think is a big plus.
It's a little bit of a cheat though. It's just a New Balance 990. It's not saying any of the versions. But like, yeah, that's totally like, if you're saying a 990 ever, like, yeah, that should be a top 10 for sure.
Yeah. And then I think this shoe might be a little too high, but I think it still deserves to be in this general range of like 7 to like 15 probably. The Puma Suede. I think it doesn't get nearly as much love as it deserves because it is a shoe that is like always sitting on retailers. You can always find them on websites. They never do crazy, collabs with the Puma Suede or anything like that. I just think it's a really cool shoe. It's got a classic silhouette. It's gonna look good no matter what the trends are at the time. It's always gonna look good. And if I remember, like, it's just, there are a lot of colorways of it. It's just not hyped up, and I think that's where that line is drawn. But it's a classic shoe. I love the Puma Suede. I think it sits well in that range that I talked about.
Yeah, I think it can sit there probably of that range. Like, honestly, like the 8 to 20 range. It's hard to put stuff in there because top 10 is a little bit easier because the things at the top are like just like so massively historically significant.
Yeah.
Then when you get in like kind of like that second tier, it's hard to mix and match those. But anyways, I'm sure over time, artificial intelligence will learn what's actually cool. But for now, we're gonna enjoy our time in the sun while we're still cooler than artificial intelligence. Now we're still slightly smarter than them, but in the near future, they may become smarter than us, but maybe we'll still be cooler than them. What were you surprised wasn't on the list? What were you surprised about where things were on the list? Let us know in the comments down below. Hopefully you like this kind of video. It's a little bit different than what we've usually been doing, but we hope you guys liked it. And if you guys have any suggestions, if you liked the video, let us know in the comments and hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Anything else, Raj?
Hey man, if we got any UFC fans, comment some stuff. I'll respond. I wanna have UFC conversations in the comment section. That'd be sick. Shout out Sugar. Shout out Sugar. All right, that's it. See you later. Thank you for watching.